A very good afternoon to everyone. So our facilitator today will give you more instructions on how you can interact and participate. So right now what we're going to do is invite the Peace Corps Sri Lanka Country Director Kavita Pule to officially welcome everyone and to introduce our facilitator for today. Kavita, it's yours.
So thank you everyone for joining us, and I'm really excited that we're doing our second forum for English teachers, and thank you for all of you who have come back for a second round, and especially thank you to Mithila Weerasinghe, who is our guest speaker today and will be teaching us lots of amazing things. For those of you who don't know much about Peace Corps, we are a US government agency that brings volunteers from the United States to live and work here for 2 years and to support English language development in schools. So they will work hand in hand with Sri Lankan teachers and schools, teaching students, working with teachers one-on-one, building skills, transferring skills and knowledge, learning about Sri Lankan culture, and in general, becoming part of your communities. We're very excited to have volunteers hopefully requested that we come and support English language development at the grassroots level. And so that's what we're here. And so we're very happy to also be collaborating with the Ministry of Education on this forum for English teachers. So we are very fortunate today to have Ms. Mithila Weerasinghe with us to be our, to work with us today on speaking activities, as I understand it, for teaching English. Ms. Weerasinghe is a Fulbright scholar who studied at the University of California. She was also a core skills trainer and a TKT mentor for the British Council's program in Sri Lanka, and a resource person for curriculum reforms at the National Institute of Education. At present, she's a teacher trainer attached to the RESC Kurunagala. Sorry if I butchered that name. Needless to say, Ms. Weerasinghe has a passion for English and for building the skills of our English teachers. So we're very lucky to have her here. Welcome, Ms. Weerasinghe, and thank you for your supporting the Forum for English Teachers. We look forward to your workshop today, and I'll hand it back to Pri.
I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Kavita. So without taking more of your time, I'm going to turn this session directly over to Mithila. Ms. Mithila Weerasinghe.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Especially, I would like to thank this Peace Corps for this nice invitation and this very warm welcome. So, hello, everyone. So, this is, of course, directly, going to my presentation. So, since we are doing a workshop on speaking activities, so I've thought of starting this also with kind of speaking activity. Hope that the audience, everyone, will support me. And in this instance, you can unmute your microphones and you can present your ideas. So let's speak first, and then we can go on with the other part or the rest of the workshop. So this is what I'm going to do, that I have 4 boxes with some questions, and I'm going to present it. And with each box, there's a question. And let's see what these boxes contain, right? So this is my first question. This is to the audience. So what is speaking? What do you understand? What's your definition of speaking? Yes? You're free to talk.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Indani. Communicating verbally.
Wow, that's a nice idea. Thank you. Communicating verbally. Okay.
Alani says a productive skill on the chat.
Wow, that's a productive skill. Yeah, of course, we have 2 skills like, what are they? So one is productive and the other one is receptive. Yeah, so productive, we produce language. So speaking is a productive skill, of course. Anyone else?
Good evening, madam. It's like bringing the English into action.
Exactly, why not? So thank you for the wonderful answers. And here goes the second question. So, are we happy with our students' speaking skills? Being teachers.
Excuse me, ma'am. Actually, sometimes we are happy with their speaking skills. Sometimes not, because some of them are not excel for that, but some are excellent.
I know. So with some you're quite okay, but with others we have our worries. Okay, others please.
Fatima says speaking is the process of coordinating the words and sentences to communicate with others.
Wow, that's a nice definition. Thank you, Priyanka, for wording it. Yes, others?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah.
We must happy to with our student speaking skills because of the English as a foreign language, ma'am. Second foreign language in the Sri Lankan student, so they are try to speak with us. So we must happy.
We have to be happy with whatever the skills they show. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here goes the third box. So what hinders our students from free speaking? According to your context, your classrooms, maybe you will come up with so many problems.
Communicating in target language. Communicating in target language, that is one of the you can say focus hindrance for all the students irrespective of that country.
Others?
In my case, my students are, not exposed to.
Madam, I am Yoga Shanti.
Not exposed to?
Yeah, so therefore they struggle, they are nervous, speaking.
Okay, the lack of exposure to this language. Okay, right. I think all of us have that problem. Yes, another lady wanted to speak.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Along with
Yoga
this
Shanti.
language,
Students always thinking about their mistakes.
That's a nice idea. Yes, the students are always worried about their mistakes. So that hinders. Okay, right. Others?
On the chat, it says fear of making a mistake, lack of vocabulary, not exposed to the target language.
Only grammar. They only concentrate grammar.
They are worried about their grammar.
Yes.
Okay, very common.
Mother tongue interference.
Exactly, mother tongue interference. Okay, thank you. And the last question. Are we giving, being teachers, are we giving enough opportunities for them to speak in the classroom? Are you quite okay, satisfied with the opportunities that you are giving to them to practice speaking?
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Exactly, doctor.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. They are getting many opportunities to speak actually in the classroom activities. And the thing is that they are trying to use the mother tongue. They are giving many opportunities for them.
So you are happy that you are giving many opportunities.
Yeah, definitely, madam. Yeah.
Nice to hear.
In my opinion, I hope the teachers of English should give more opportunities for students to speak English. We have to provide more opportunities for them. We have to facilitate them to speak.
So that means you are not that happy that we are not giving enough opportunities for our students.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Madam,
right.
My opinion is
in Sri Lanka.
Yes. Yes, please.
Focus only exam oriented. So reading skill and writing skill is only focus.
That's a wonderful idea. Thank you for coming out with that idea as well. Of course, we have a huge problem with this exam-oriented system that we have in Sri Lanka. Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all these wonderful ideas. I'm really happy. So as you say that the speaking is, I'm just kind of reminding, speaking is one of the 4 skills we know, and it is a productive skill because we produce language rather than receiving it. And speaking activities involve using this communication, or we use speech to communicate meaningfully for these people. And the problem we have is that many ESL learners are constantly hindered by so many problems, and many were in the chat box, and some of you came out with these problems like lack of vocabulary, maybe that they have insufficient knowledge, and a master said that they were not exposed to this language that much, or maybe like in most of the areas, the English teacher is the only resource we have for the students to hear or listen to this language. And also they have this control and speed of access that we say that they don't have much access to this language. So we have so many problems. And the other problem is, very unfortunately, the oral fluency is not given much attention in our classes. One of the major problems we have in the Sri Lankan context is that we are very exam oriented. At the end of the day, that everyone will be asking your results. Miss, how many students have you pushed through this O-level exam, right? So then you have to answer. So teachers pay more attention on reading and writing. And we say that the listening and speaking skills are given this very low attention. So we call them as Cinderella skills in Sri Lanka, because teachers are very much concerned of practicing more reading and more writing activities rather than speaking and listening. Because at the end of the course, at the end of this course of this English, I mean the secondary education, you are questioned by your officials, your hierarchy about the results. Okay, so we have a great challenge, I know. And with that, we have to think of many things to improve this speaking or the communicative skills of our students, because maybe that they will be tested for reading and writing at their O levels. But the problem is, when our child steps out of the school, when they go out to the society, they will be tested with their listening and speaking skills. So speaking becomes a vital need for our students. So as one teacher pointed out, we know that our students very often display anxiety when our teachers ask questions, when the teachers ask them to perform a role play or dialogue or some improvisation. So there's much anxiety within our students. And this anxiety level further increases when our teachers constantly correct their grammar and pronunciation. And with that, we know that consequently, they will drop their confidence. If they are always interrupted, if they are always criticized, if we are always pointing out the child, this is wrong and that is wrong, why are you speaking in such a bad way? So if we go on criticizing, they will never speak at all. So they will, stop their speaking. So we have to think of all these problems, and we have to keep them in our mind as good teachers when we practice speaking in the classroom. Right. With all these in our mind, let's go to a poll. So Ms. Priyanka will help me to conduct this poll. So I have 3 questions. For these 3 questions, you will have 3 polls. My questions are like that. The first question is, what is more important? Is it accuracy or is it fluency in a speaking lesson? So you can answer yourself.
So the poll is on and I can see people are answering.
Accuracy is secondary part rather than fluency. This is what I think. Because
You
once
can
the person,
you can mark that on the poll.
yeah, I did it.
You have done. Okay, let's talk
Second
with
is
the
not
results.
visible.
Is everybody seeing
Okay.
the poll? I have only a few people who are answering the poll.
Can't see. So some couldn't see, even I couldn't see it.
I see it free, but
We have 25% of people answering. I can't think of.
Ma'am, it appeared and it has gone.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. It
I'm
was
going to
there. but
relaunch the
now-
poll.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so please everybody just click on the right answer again.
Thank you.
I hope it comes this time. All right, we have many more people answering now. So 75% have answered, and 80% of the 75% who have are saying that it's fluency, and 20% are saying it's accuracy.
Okay. So I think, thank you, Priyanka. I think that everyone can see that 80% of the audience, yeah, they have voted for this fluency. Yes, because thank you so much for understanding that, because when it comes to accuracy, we have our own lessons, English lessons, to talk about the accuracy of language, but not in speaking, please. So speaking primarily or basically aims at developing fluency. So what is more important is developing their fluency rather than accuracy. Okay, so let's go to the second question. So while you are doing on a speaking lesson, how are you going to correct their errors? Is it on-the-spot error correction, or is it delayed error correction? Which one is more important?
The answers are coming in. Okay. 83%, 85% have voted. Shall I share the?
Yeah, sure. So 75% says do it later and 25% says do it on the spot. I am unable to share. Okay, share the results. You're seeing the Okay, so
results?
for 75, do it later. Some 25 say do it on the spot. Right. So I would like to speak more on this error correction policies of teachers here, because normally we have two major types of error correction policies as English teachers. One is on the spot error correction. The other one is delayed error correction. So why do we have two types of error correction methods? Why? So on the spot error correction, when we spot a certain error done by the student, we correct that on the spot. What is our focus there? Why do we do such on the spot error correction? What is our focus?
Accuracy?
Of course, thank you. We are focusing on accuracy. So if our lesson is based on accuracy, of course, we have to correct our learners on the spot. So what do you mean by delayed error correction? So normally we do delayed error corrections when we are doing a lesson on fluency. So we are not going to disturb our students while they are speaking or while they engage in a speaking activity, because that will disturb their moods, their tone, their feelings, and even their enthusiasm, right? So then there comes a question. So then how can we correct them? Okay, so this is what we can do during this in a process of delayed error correction. So let them speak with whatever the broken language that they have. So the teacher can go around the class facilitating, helping, and monitoring. And while go around the class monitoring the students, you may listening to many errors done by our speakers. So the second question comes now. Are we going to list out all the errors? No. We are going to list out the most important errors done by our students. Some grave errors, we would say, right? So we would jot down all the important errors that we have to correct later, or maybe after the lesson. There are many ways of doing this delayed error correction. Maybe the teacher herself or himself can put those things on the board, and the teacher can elaborate on these are the errors that I've heard, the problems that I've heard, and teacher can have a kind of a whole class feedback. Or maybe we can go to a simple game. Maybe teacher can distribute these little errors among the groups and they themselves can correct them. Or maybe if you are a very creative teacher, you can have a gallery walk in the classroom, putting all the errors. You are going to display all the errors and let the students come out with the suggestions. So there are many things the teacher can do. And also, if the teacher finds that some errors are really, really important, that you have to practice those parts several times, maybe your next lessons can be based on such errors. But in a speaking lesson, when we are focusing the fluency, we are not going to disturb our students. Their enthusiasm will drop down, right? Their motivation will go away. So we wait until they finish the work and then we will go for a delayed error correction. Right. My last question. When we are practicing speaking, what kind of language do your learners practice? Is it very artificial language or natural language? What's your idea?
So 80% have answered, and I think I will end the poll, 85%.
Yeah.
And here are the results.
Yes. So thank you so much. And thank you, Priyanka, for supporting. And so you all, most of you say that is natural language. And maybe that you have a problem now. What do you mean by artificial language? And what do you mean by natural language? Right. So let's move on to the next slide. And I would like you to observe the two conversations. The subject matter here is the same, but the two friends are putting that in two different manners. So there's one conversation, case A, and then also there's another conversation called case 2. I would like to invite two volunteers from the audience. One can be A and the other one can be B, and speak out this dialogue, case 1. Who can help me?
Madam, I can.
Thank you. Someone, please. One more.
May I, madam?
Yes. Yeah, sure. You
Hello.
two can do
Is this
case
Sam?
1. Yeah.
Hello, is this Sam?
Hello. Yes, who is calling?
It's me, Nihal. Do you want to go to the movies tonight?
Yes, I do. What show is on these days?
Dracula is playing. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Would you like to see it again?
Yes, I would.
Can you get the car?
No, I'm sorry, I can't.
Then I guess we will have to take the bus.
Thank you so much. And 2 more volunteers, please, because we have to speak out the second dialogue as well.
Ma'am,
Yeah, please go on.
Hi, sir. It's me, Nihal.
Hi, Sam. It's me, Nihal.
Oh, hi. Want to go to the movie tonight? Sure. What's on? Dracula. Have you seen it? Yes, but I'd like to see it again. Can you get the car? No, let's take the bus.
Okay, thank you so much, sweet people. Right, now we have to do something. There are 2 questions along with this. So you have listened to both conversations. So these are the 2 questions. Which conversation is more natural and why? And which type of conversations, type 1 or type 2? Which type of conversations do you practice in the classroom normally and why? So for that, I think Ms. Priyanka will put you into breakout rooms. So you are going to discuss and you have to be very frank and tell each other, especially what type of conversations do you practice in the classroom? Is it case 1 type conversations or case 2 type conversations? Okay.
Okay, so please join the breakout rooms. I will open the rooms now.
Because of the students can be used the sentence and words very easy.
That's right, exactly. Thank you. Yes, then
that is a small conversation, so they are not afraid to come in front.
Thank
to
you,
attack.
Nalini's point. I'm going to take Nalini's point here. So she says that the second conversation is simpler than the first one and more natural, and the students will find it easier. That's a good point because the same conversation is there in the second one as well, but it's so short and it's shorter than the first one and also more natural. And I don't think that
when students are when we are normally talking, we don't answer in full with full sentences. Like
exactly.
In first dialogue, all the answers are in full length. So I also agree that second one is more natural.
Yeah, it's more natural. And even look at that. Do you want to go to the movies tonight? Changes in the second case. Want to go to the movies. So it's a statement, but it goes with the tone to show the question as well. So the students are really, I mean, they feel relaxed in the second case. And also, I don't think that our students today, today's students, they will say, hello, is this Sam? Because you're talking to a friend. So you are not using such polite language there, like you are reading a book. So they will say, hi, what's up? Hi, Sam, how's things? So right, that's very simple language. So it's good that if you can practice this conversations that appear like that is in case 2, because it's more easy. I mean, it's easier for the practice of the students, and also the language is also very simple, right? So along with this, so that we have to understand that we have to think of their natural talking as well. So what do we do when we speak? Do we take part in discussions? Or are we just listening to someone until that person finishes and then we are going to start? Do we take part in discussions while speaking? Yes or no?
Take part in discussions.
We do
Yes.
take part. Do we plan what we say?
No.
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 Spontaneous.
Not much. It's not like, yeah, very spontaneous. Exactly. Do we smile?
Yes.
Yes.
And not only smiling, that we change our mood according to the situation.
Facial expressions.
Facial expressions, gestures. We have lot of non-verbal communication as well. Do we use language accurately?
No, ma'am.
Always.
No, ma'am.
Sometimes.
No.
Yeah,
Not at
sometimes.
all.
Yes,
Not all the
sometimes.
time. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Do you use language accurately when you use your mother tongue?
No.
No, ma'am.
When
Not
you
at
are
all.
speaking in your mother tongue, do you use accurate language?
No, ma'am. No,
Not
ma'am.
all.
No. Sometimes we don't know our own grammar even, right? Because
Yes.
Sinhala or Tamil grammar, we don't know. So we don't use language
Code switching
accurately.
even.
Yeah. Do we hesitate when we speak?
Sometimes, ma'am.
Sometimes we
Yes, sometimes, of course. Do
Sometimes.
we paraphrase what we say?
Yes, maybe.
Yes,
Maybe.
of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. Do we use an appropriate register?
Not at all. No, not at
Yeah.
Not at
Not
all,
always,
madam.
but sometimes. We do think.
Do we speak to the teacher and do we speak the same way to our best friend?
No.
No, ma'am.
No, that is appropriate register, the formality. So when we speak to our friends, that is different. And when we speak to a superior, some hierarchy, the language is different. The words that we use, that is different. So do we engage in self-corrections?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
sometimes.
We do. So when when our students do, these self-corrections, when our students hesitate, when our students paraphrase, or when they don't use language accurately, are we, why do we get so much, sad and disappointed? There's no need. So we have to let them speak with all these things. So they are very natural, right? So let's do a simple game and then we'll see how do we change our expressions meaningfully according to situations. So all you have to say is, I'm sorry here, right? I'm giving you some situations. So according to these situations, you have to tell me, how are you going to say you are sorry? What are you going to do?
How are you going to say?
According to the given situations, we are going to say, I'm sorry.
Okay, you are going to say, I'm sorry. Who is giving situations?
You.
You.
Yeah, I'm giving you situations. So maybe you can speak out or maybe you can type your answer in the chat. So I think Shamali will read out these things. Okay, so this is the first situation. So you drop your friend's pen. Accidentally, you drop your friend's pen. So what did you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Or maybe
I'm
that you will not say sorry at all because it's your best friend after all. So you will not even say sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Someone says
Just
oops.
saying,
Someone says oops.
oops, don't mind.
Sam.
Okay, right. Okay, sorry, dear. Okay, right. So this is a second situation. And imagine that you are walking on the street and suddenly you bump into a stranger. And now the stranger looks very angry. How would you say sorry?
I'm so sorry.
Very sorry.
I'm sorry.
Really sorry.
I'm extremely sorry.
Extremely sorry.
Really sorry.
Extremely sorry. I'm so sorry. So I just heard very polite speech of yours that you are really, very polite and saying sorry to the stranger. Right. The third one. So maybe your principal, maybe your boss, your zonal director, the person has given you a certain work and a deadline and now you have almost forgotten that. And now the person is in front of you asking for the work, but you have completely forgotten it. How would you say sorry to your superior?
I'm
Really sorry, sir. I'm really sorry, sir.
I'm really very sorry, sir.
What has happened to your tone now?
Yes, I'm really very sorry.
I'm sorry, sir.
Really
I'm
sorry. So
extremely
what's
sorry,
that?
sir.
Okay, extremely sorry. So we see that now the tone is completely different. Okay, the last one. Maybe you're married or not, I don't know. So it's your boyfriend or the girlfriend or the spouse or the wife or the husband's birthday, your lover's birthday, but you have completely forgotten it. And now your spouse is or your lover is really disappointed, and yeah, it's about to break your relationship even. So how would you say sorry to your lover?
Oh,
Yes,
I'm
oh my
really
God, I'm really
sorry.
sorry.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
really sorry, I was busy.
So you have your reasons also, and you say, my God also, and you say, oh, I'm really sorry. And maybe
Sorry,
if I
dear.
can see your
I'm
faces,
really sorry, dear.
Sorry.
the dear is also coming now.
Sorry,
Oh
dear.
My
gosh,
bad.
sorry, darling. Oh
Sorry,
gosh, sorry,
darling.
darling.
Okay.
My bad. Forgive me, please.
Forgive me, please. So now, if I can see your faces, I can see, I'm sure that they are very romantic as well. Okay. So now what has happened during these 4 different situations?
Facial expression and the tone, ma'am.
Exactly.
The
So you
situation.
Tone has-
change your tone, your mood, your facial expressions according to the situation.
Mannerism.
Yeah, yeah, and your politeness markers as well. So my question is, are we practicing this type of meaningful conversation with our students? Or do they just come to the front of the class and very mechanically, will they just exchange some utterances and go back and sit? What is happening in the classroom?
So
We just
mechanical.
follow the textbooks and we don't
We just read something in the
these kind of
textbook.
practical conversations.
That's right. So that's my point. So we have to understand this weakness that is with us. We are very mechanical when we are practicing these speaking activities with our students. They just read something and they just read something and they just sit, and then they will forget what they have practiced. But if we practice them with meaningful expressions, they will understand the value of meaningful communications. In doing so, we have to encourage our students to take risks. They will go wrong. They will not find enough vocabulary. They will get stuck somewhere and they will look at you for the help, but still let them practice this, taking a lot of risks. That's what we have to do. So our activities should be learner-centered, immersion-based, and lot of activity-oriented. And these activities should increase speech output. So they may go wrong, but you have to let them speak. Please think of those things before we start our speaking activities today. Right. Before we discuss these speaking activities that can be done in our classrooms, I would like to ask you one more question. Where does speaking take place in the ESL classroom? I'm not going into details here, but we teach speaking in a speaking lesson. So you go to the class thinking that, okay, today I'm teaching speaking. So we know the 3 stages. We have pre-speaking, then we follow the while speaking session, and finally we have post-speaking session. So that is a fully immersed speaking lesson. And also we have another opportunity in other skill lessons as well. When we are practicing reading or writing or grammar or whatever, the post session, the post part of the lesson is a good chance, good space, good forum for us to integrate speaking skills there. So after reading, maybe they can engage in a speaking activity. So this is what I want to make you understand, that you can do a full speaking lesson, or else we can use speaking as a post session of any other skill lesson as well. Right. Keeping that in our mind, I'm moving to the first speaking activity today, and this is called as Reader's Theatre. Readers theater is a kind of speaking activity that we do for the beginners. We know that the speakers have anxiety. They may have a lot of phobias that they would not like to come to the front of the class and speak. Or maybe they have the fear that they will go wrong and the students will laugh. So we can start this while the students are seated in the class. And we are using the text as a script. So we can do that using several steps. Okay, so this is my script today. So a very simple poem that we all know, and it can be spoken by anyone, right? Any child can read that. So this is a simple poem or something, a little conversation between the father and the son, Johnny, the son and the father. Okay, so we are going to act this out while seated on our chairs. So first of all, it is a very normal speaking, like the teacher will okay, I'm the father, and audience, you are the son, right? So this is what I'm saying. Johnny,
Yes, Papa.
eating sugar,
No, Papa.
telling lies,
No, Papa.
open your mouth. Okay, so the students shout out. So they speak aloud these utterances, right? So the next one, we will be more meaningful, right? So father will never say, Johnny. So father will take a break in between. So I would say, Johnny.
Yes, Papa. Yes, Papa.
What is Johnny doing? What is Johnny doing?
Eating sugar.
Eating sugar. Okay, right. So with much, the child is really scared that now the father is asking for him. So he has to say that with much hesitation. Yes, Papa. Okay, so we change the tone now. Johnny.
Yes, Papa.
Yes, Papa.
Very good. Father knows that the brat is eating sugar. Eating sugar?
No,
Papa. Okay.
No.
Telling lies? Father is very angry
No,
now.
Papa.
Telling lies?
No, Papa.
Open your mouth. By the time he has swollen, he has stopped eating, now he can open the mouth well. Right. So then maybe in the third step, we can do some actions. So the teacher can divide the class into two. One side the father, other side Johnny. Right. Maybe what is father doing? Father is reading the newspaper. Father is reading the newspaper. So we can ask our students to mime. So father is holding the newspaper, he folds it and looks around. The boy is not to be seen. So he's giving the first call, Johnny. And meanwhile, the other side of the class. So with the first Johnny, he will finish eating and then he will close the lid. He will put it back and then he will say, yes, Papa. So the students are not standing up. They are seated and then they can just dramatize something and the whole class is practicing. This will, a kind of icebreaker, and also this will help them to overcome any shyness, any phobia that they have if they are asked to speak something. And after drilling this, repeating this several times, maybe the teacher can invite volunteers to act this out. So we take the text as a script. So there can be such simple dialogues everywhere in your textbook. So you can practice this in this way. So it will be enjoyable and motivating as well. At the same time, they can also create their own scripts. So if the teacher is creative, the teacher can ask, write different dialogues, not the traditional dialogues found in the textbook, not the same dialogue, found in the storybooks. But the students can think of a different situation and write a little script. So script is not a long one, very simple, maybe some 2 or 3 utterances, right? Okay, so we have the Goldilocks and interviewed by the, or questioned by the father bear, the Red Riding Hood and the wolf. They are having a discussion, and Snowy is trying to tell something to Tintin. So they can write some simple expressions, maybe some 2 or 3 utterances for each, and then they can read out. So I have planned to do something on Padlet, but Priyanka, I think we don't have much time, so I can just skip this. Is it okay?
If you all don't mind, we can go till 6:15 or so, but I think you have a lot to cover. You have more to cover, right? You have 28 slides and you're on 40.
Okay. So I'm just showing you that rather than the traditional teaching, please exploit these pictures and ask your students to come out with different dialogues and practice them. So even if one group is making one dialogue, the whole class can practice that. So this is one way. Write your own dialogues. Okay. And also the telephone conversation. So whenever we are talking about speaking activities, teachers come out with this answer, right? We practice telephone conversation. So what I'm going to present today is something different, that I'm giving you the very first line of the speaker. You have to guess the next line. So the activity is guess the next line. So the caller says hello. So I know very easy for you that you can guess the next line. What is the next line?
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Right. So what can be the next line?
Is this somebody?
So and so. Okay. But the caller is, the child is answering the phone. So the caller is asking, is your daddy home? So what will be the answer?
Yes,
No.
he is at home.
Yes, he's at home.
Yes,
Okay, yeah. The child says yes.
He is out
can be
at the moment.
the child says yes. So what will be the next question from the caller?
Please give
a message?
Your father.
Can I talk to your father? May I talk with him? Okay. So the what does the child say? Can you guess?
Of course, yes. Yes, of course.
But the child says no. Okay. The child says no. You can't talk to my father. So then the caller is asking, is your mommy there? What will be the next line?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Yes. So what will be the next question naturally?
Can I talk to her?
Can I talk to your mommy, please?
Yeah, may I talk with her? What will be the answer?
No.
As usual, the child says no. Okay, now the caller is confused. So he is asking another question. Is there anyone else? What will be the answer? Can you guess?
Yes.
Yes, only I. Yes, that's me.
That's me. But the child says, yes, a policeman. That's a policeman. Okay. So the caller is saying, may I speak with the policeman? What will be the next line?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. No, he is busy. The policeman is busy. Okay. So the caller is asking, what is he doing? So what will be the next line?
He is talking with you.
He is talking with my mom and dad.
Wow, very good. He's talking to daddy and mommy. Exactly. He's talking to daddy and mommy. And then the caller can hear a noise. So the caller is asking, what's that noise? So what will be the next answer? Can you guess?
That is my brother.
They are fighting.
What is the noise? A helicopter. So now the caller is really confused and he is asking what? What are they searching for? What will be the answer?
You.
You mean the caller?
They are searching.
Searching for me?
Me.
What has happened? They are searching. Everyone is searching for the child. Okay. So the child is hiding.
May be hiding somewhere.
Okay. Right. Okay. So this is called guessing the next line. So you give one line and you ask the students to guess the other line. Right. So if you are doing a speaking lesson, where would you put this activity? In the pre-session, the while session, or the post session?
While session, ma'am.
Exactly. This is a very good way of starting the lesson, pre-session. So the motivation is up and they are very excited to guess the next line as well. Okay. So how can you extend this activity further? So this particular dialogue is prepared by the teacher. So teacher does that with the students. How can we extend this activity?
With students'
Get
ideas,
the
ma'am, and
students
answers.
free.
Ideas and
Of
answers.
course, maybe that they can get into groups and they can prepare their own dialogues and they can present it to class and the other groups can guess. Okay, so that is a good
And at the same
activity.
time,
yes,
we can ask the children to act out what's happening between mother, father, and the policeman. The interview or something.
Exactly, so that they are really scared that the child is lost and they can enact that particular dialogue as well. So if the teacher is creative, the teacher can extend such little activities further and give lot of experiences to the child. Okay, so if it is a picture description, I'm not going to talk about picture descriptions much. It's so popular. So if this picture, the family at the kitchen, they are working, if you are going to exploit this picture as the talking point, what would be your pre-speaking activities?
Things can be seen in the kitchen.
What are they in
Vocabulary, exactly. Introducing the things in
Asking
the
some
kitchen.
pre-question.
Okay,
Asking
so
some
you can
pre-question.
ask pre-questions. You pre-teach vocabulary. Anything else?
You are in the picture.
Sentence
Sorry?
Without showing the
Sentence
pictures.
Sentence pattern structures. Very good. So you have to pre-teach some grammar as well. Maybe present continuous and simple present as well. Okay. So then while speaking, you are practicing that, right? So the students speak. What can you do with the post speaking? What else? Now this is done.
Ask them to make a dialogue.
A picture is
Maybe as the gentleman says here. So ask them to make a dialogue between some family members, or else they can take some other pictures like what?
Yes.
Maybe their own family. They bring their family photos to the class, or maybe they draw their family and show that to the others and describe. Lot of things can be done. And when they are practicing, what are the interaction patterns in the classroom? That is very important. How can you put them into action? There should be some methodical ways to put them into practice. So I have given you 3 suggestions. One is called ladder chat. It goes as a ladder, 2 lines, standing face to face, and they show their pictures to each other and they describe them to each other. So how does the teacher know that they have finished talking? When they show their picture to each other and talk, and how does the teacher know, all right, though they have stopped, they have finished their work?
to give some signal to the group.
You can
Put
give
the
the
pictures
signal,
down.
but yeah, when the class becomes silent, you know that they have completed their work. And then, that as you said, that the teacher can give a signal, and then only one line can change places. Other line is not changing places. Only the one line can change places. So they will meet a new partner. So again, they talk. So until they meet all the members in the class, they can go on talking. That is called a ladder chat. Or else they can have onion circles, 2 circles. In my right side, I have given you the picture, right? So onion circle, same thing, right? They are standing face to face. Only the outer circle change places, and the inner circle, they don't change their places. So the teacher gives the signal, they jump to the other person, and until they meet everyone in the classroom, they can go on talking. Or else they can just mingle with each other. That is called whole class mingling. They can just mingle with each other and do this talking. And now you may have a lot of problems, the practical problems, then it will be very noisy. Other teachers will glare at you, the principal will come. Okay, take them outside, no problem, right? So we have to overcome the practical problems as well, right? And when come to speaking activities, we have a lot of information gap activities as well. What do you mean by information gap activities? So I have some information with myself, but not everything. And you have some other parts of the same information. So there's a gap between us. To break the gap and to get the other part of the information, I have to communicate with you. So I have to speak to you and get the wanted information for me, and you also have to speak to me and get the needed information. So find someone who I know that is a very popular game, and no need of speaking about that. Spot the difference is another example. So it's a pair work, most probably. One student is given one picture and the other student is given the other picture. They look alike, but there are several differences. So you have to describe your picture and the other person has to describe his or her picture to spot the differences in the picture. So in that way, the information gap is broken and you find out the differences. So you can draw these pictures very easily, or maybe you can ask the students to draw these pictures, and no need of printing all these pictures from the net. They can make their own pictures as well, right? And the other one example, Andhare's diary. This can be anyone's diary, but I have kept it as Andhare's diary. Okay, the person who gets A, the question A, that child has the activities done by Andhare only on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The person who gets the script B, he has activities done on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you have to speak to the other person to find out what Andhare has done on the other days. So the speaking is happening. You have to go to these to the other friends and fill in all this information, and there a lot of speaking will take place. So such activities are called information gap activities. So you have 2 partners and these partners have some part of information. So you have to speak to the other person to get the full information. And also we can have this hot seat. So you know the hot seat, one person is taken to the hot seat and others can ask that person to speak, or others can interview that person. But be creative and use some different types of interviews and speaking activities. So I have given some examples. After reading Red Riding Hood, So this can be done as a post-reading activity, but the skill is speaking. So the Red Riding Hood is interviewed by the media. So what happened inside the jungle? So what has the wolf told you? So what happened when you went to the grandma's house? So a lot of questions and she will answer you. Maybe the first 5 minutes after Pinocchio comes to life. So they will be very interesting. And also in the third point, I have taken 2 characters from grade 8 textbooks. Hasmal, who goes to school on Saturday. So you can ask questions from Hasmal. What did you see in the school on Saturday? Because it was a holiday. So you can interview Hasmal, the person seated on the hot seat, can describe his experience. Or maybe this particular child, Mudalihami, after winning that race. So what happened to him? What was his experience coming to Colombo? So a lot of things can be done after reading a text and as a post-reading activity as well. So, but the skill we practice is speaking. Finally, I would like to introduce another activity which is called improvisation. So normally many people say that improvisation is the 5th skill. We have reading, speaking, listening, and writing, but improvisation is the 5th skill, because one thing is the children can combine whatever the knowledge they have found out into this and show their ability. And also the students are given their autonomy. It is very important. It is not the teacher who asks the students, you select this part, you select this part. No, the students will select their own roles. They will select their own expressions, utterances, and they will speak. So improvisation means very impromptu talking. You will provide some situations and give them little time, and then they will come out with little dramas and dialogues. So I will show you some of the activities that you can do for improvisation. So let me share the screen, and I have put them on the wheel. I think you know this wheel of names. So I have put these activities on the wheel. So 4 members of the family want to watch different TV programs at the same time. So what kind of improvisation is that? A pair work or a group work?
Group work.
It's a group work. Okay. So they have to decide, they have to take 4 people, and maybe they are selecting their own TV programs, and they will argue why is it important to them. So a lot of language, output can be seen here. Okay, one more. A tourist asks for directions to go to the railway station. So is it a pair work or a group work? Probably a pair work, or if you want, you can make it as a group work as well. So make something innovative, make them make something more creative, and they will be very happy to see some creative ideas coming from the teacher. Right. So finally, what helps better communication in the classroom? For me, number 1 is ICQs. What do you mean by ICQs?
Instruction checking questions.
Teacher always have to check whether they have understood the instructions. Otherwise, whatever we do in the classroom will go meaningless because they have not understood what to do. And also delayed error corrections. Let them speak, and later you can analyze their errors. Let them speak. And also provide them with personalized contexts. Not some alien context, maybe very personalized context. And more student talking time. We know that we have a kind of weakness that teacher is talking all the time. More teacher talking time in the classroom. So when we are doing speaking activities, let the students speak, and we have to reduce our teacher talking time and provide them with stress-free environment, right? Don't interrupt when they are speaking. Don't let the others laugh when someone goes wrong, right? Mistakes should be welcome and encouraged. And finally, appreciation. We have to appreciate our students. We have to keep their morale up. Otherwise, they will never speak, right? So that is the end of my presentations, and I don't know whether we have enough time for Q&A.
I think I think we don't have too much time for questions and answers, but thank you so much for, I'm going to just, before I launch the poll. I'm sure all of us, teachers of English, have learned some fascinating new tools that we can start using from today. We are so very grateful to you for sharing your experience and your knowledge with us. I'm inviting everybody to answer the 3 questions on the poll. There are some at the bottom, so you might have to scroll down. And also on the chat, I have placed a feedback form. If you can go into that and fill it up, I would be so grateful. So that is what will help us to take your feedback and do better as we go along. So I just want to, while you're doing that, remind ourselves that the one way to ensure that this hour and a half almost has been useful in terms of investing our time is that we use the tools that we have learned. So there is a reason why we don't offer a certificate on these courses. There were some who were leaving and asking me, can I have my certificate? We don't have a certificate because knowing the activities makes no sense. But doing the activities with our students is what makes sense. So let's use these methodologies, and thank you so much for sharing them with us. Let's use it effectively and offer an improved learning experience to the children of Sri Lanka. So our next forum for English teachers is on the 20th of May. Keep the date free. We will give you the details on email. And also an invitation to those who are not using their emails often, you might want to consider getting into the habit of using the emails so that you won't miss our emails. Also, please find Peace Corps Sri Lanka Facebook page and like our page. We will be uploading all the links to the sessions that we're doing. The last session and this one, this is the second, and we will be doing 8 sessions. We will be placing the links for the recorded material there. And to conclude this session, can I ask you to just unmute yourself? And on behalf of Peace Corps, I would like to thank Ms. Mithila for accepting the invitation once again.